What's up, everybody? This is episode 8 of the Late Night Channel Eeps. And today I would like to talk about taking risks, especially in the creative industry. And what does it mean, what does it entail, and sort of the kind of experiences and results I went through by getting uncomfortable. So where do I begin? Well, taking risk was not an easy thing because first of all, I had to get out of the conformity of the expectation of what entails of a quote unquote regular job, sustainable and expected financial income coming every second week on a Friday or something. Like all of that is out the door when you're an entrepreneur. First of all, you're taking risks anyway, being an entrepreneur in the first place. Um, but as I mentioned in my previous episodes, where I understood about doing things on my own, setting my own art show, competing in competitions, getting recognized slowly. I kind of and through these sort of iterations, I get better and better and sort of hone in on certain things where I can improve on with minimal like investment. It's just sort of like, I was a student, figured it out, slowly moving forward. But then there was a point where I had to realize, okay, well, I need to, because I told you my dream or my goal was like, hey, if these individuals from all over the world could come to a conference in Toronto and talk about cool stuff for 3 days, on cool stuff that they're doing, and I'm like, if they can do it, so can I. How do they do that? How? Like, what's is there magic? Is there some trick to this? And so, of course, the first thing that really appealed to me was about the traveling aspect. I think that just gives such an international allure, and that you're being invited to from by invitation of a conference in another country to talk. I don't know why, but I thought that was so amazing, and I want to do that, even if I have to pay it out of my own pocket. All right, so a bit of risk taking and a bit of like embracing that uncertainty and try to figure it out. I remember that I think it was around 2009 that I wanted to do an exhibition in Tokyo, Japan. I don't know why. I'm just so, even to this day, I am still very connected. I don't know. My energy is very, very like strong in alignment with Japan. Um, I mean, I could be another topic on another day to talk about that. But I want to do an exhibition in Japan. That was my goal. How to do it? Well, I know for a fact that no gallery isn't gonna go and knock on my door. I think that's this romanticized idea of like them coming to you back then is false. So what do I do? Well, as any entrepreneur, creative entrepreneur would do, is to go and knock on doors, and that's what I did. And I emailed galleries, coffee shops all across Japan, mostly concentrated in Tokyo. And then I got a response, and it was from a cafe. I think it was in Ikebukuro, somewhere in Tokyo. It's been a while. And this individual really liked my work. And I was very excited because, I mean, I've been, like I said, I did exhibitions on my own. It's to a point that I felt, that I think I do have a good chance of landing something. But to what capacity, I have no idea. But I'm going to have to throw myself out there, cold call, cold email to figure it out. And this kind individual messaged me and said, "Hey, we love to host you at our coffee shop in Tokyo." And I was so excited, and I saved up some money. I invested in my flight and my accommodation, and making sure that I'm there for a certain amount of time. I think I was there for about 3 weeks, but I set everything up. I said, okay, I create the art, I create the prints, I brought them to Japan. I had to I had to figure it out. I had to again, just like how I did with Memories Restaurant in Ottawa, learning a lot of that knowledge. Again, taking that risk too back then, do it myself, out of pocket. But I learned so much from executing that event, that I took that knowledge and applied it to other things. For example, the exhibition in Tokyo. So I prepared myself. The extra step, of course, is like, okay, well, now there's an international component to this. So, of course, I'm going to promote this like crazy. I'm like, EEPMON in Tokyo 2009. And I will like promote this. It's like, it's a big thing. It's like, oh, big in Japan, that kind of thing, right? Um, and I rolled with it, right? Because it was fact. It's fact. I got an exhibition in Japan. It's just now a matter of whether or not you're going to be able to afford to go over there and do it. And fortunately, I did. And when I went over there, I had the exhibition. Again, I had no idea what the outcome is going to be. I have no idea what expectation, but I had to go with this gut feeling. I was very nervous. I was scared, but I was excited. There's all these mixed feelings coming together, and I was trying to figure out like what does this mean? And I come to realize later on, I'm like, look, this is a great feeling. They have that bit of anxiety. Well, actually, I had a lot of anxiety. Okay, it was like I'm like traveling Japan to do a show. Like I've never done that before. So I think there were several exhibitions I did at that time. I think there were like three of them, and I went for it. Um, and I'm kind of digressing a bit, but yeah. So I was there. I did the shows, and then one thing led to another. And the person at the cafe said, "Hey, by the way, I'm also a manager. Organizing Pechakucha in Tokyo." And for those who don't know what Pechakucha is a global event, but originated in Tokyo, and it's just basically Pechakucha like chit chat. You have basically, I think it was like 10 minutes, and you have 1 minute per slide, so it's really quick, and you really get the point across. And he's like, we like your work. Would you like to speak at the Pechakucha conference? And I was like, sure, let's do it. It'll be amazing. So then I find myself at Pechakucha in Roppongi Hills. At the time, it was at Super Deluxe. Met all these great creative people. And some of them I met, and then we keep in touch to this day. And I get to show my work to an even broader audience. I did a presentation of these like really big like projector screens, and met lots of people, made a lot of connections, and and opportunities started to develop. And to think about, and so to you could imagine, like, well, I was at the beginning looking for to have an opportunity to have a little art gallery or some sort of show, which opened up all these new unforeseen scenarios that I have never thought of that would have happened. And suddenly I'm doing a talk there, showing there, and then building some great relationships, building, of course, business development. And now, and once I was flying back to Canada, and then just thinking about that experience, I'm like, wow, what just happened? What had just transpired? I had never thought by just, pushing that, embracing that bit of that uncertainty, embracing that unknown, would have had opened up all these new avenues and new channels that I never thought would have been possible. I never even conceive, never even thought about it, right? So long story short, I'm gonna go too long again. This is a pattern. This is a pattern about breaking out of conformity, breaking out of the the complacency. The first step is to embrace these unknowns is always the hardest. I even still have a bit of the butterflies in my stomach when I'm doing something completely new. But I've learned, I can tell you for sure, I've learned that if I do not have any nervousness or uncertainty, or there's a bit of anxiety in what I'm doing, then I know I have pretty much mastered that scenario. I need a bit of that agitation. I need a bit of that, that excitement of not expecting what is going to happen. Because I know that if I do feel this way, that is the opportunity. That is where I need to venture out. So that is why I travel a lot. And I think again I'll make another post about traveling a lot. But I travel a lot, okay, and I do this because I need to re-engage the world, the global world, because again, these are, if there's anything that's uncertain and unknown, it's beyond my immediate surroundings, my immediate habitat. By going out there, I know for a fact, and through experience, time and time again, through my iterative process, like I was mentioning before, that there is always some things, plural, many things that are that open up new avenues, just new avenues, guaranteed. You just have to embrace it. You just have to know and accept that is, once you move out of that hurdle of complacency, moving towards and embracing these unknowns and taking these risks, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. As cliche it may sound, but that is very, very true. And it's crazy because I would not be who I am today had I not take those bold steps. And it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough because I have people, maybe my closest ones, who question my motives. And okay, look, rightfully so, because they're not me. They don't think like me. They don't know my intuition. They don't know how I think. They don't know how I feel. They can only provide their advice of like, you shouldn't do it. It's like, what are you doing? But they're saying it from a position of like, I understand, a position of care and making sure that I'm okay. But also because it's a risk, right? They don't know what it is. They don't know if there's any people that are totally adverse to uncertainty, are people in the position of complacency. And I think that there's a lot of people that are in that sort of realm saying that you're crazy. You're crazy to do this. What are you, nuts? Like, are you spending all this money, and for what results? What's your ROI? Why are you doing it? But this is something you hear over and over and over again from entrepreneurs or business people or creative people who want to try something completely new, innovative. This is what is innovation. That's innovation. Innovation is basically flies in the face of conformity. And I like to think that that's sort of what I've been pursuing myself, is that I'm breaking these barriers, breaking these status quos, and paving my own path, right? Because I had those dreams, I had those goals. I want to travel. I want to be doing these cool things that these people were doing. I was like, they can do, I can do it too. But we live in a world there where there's like forces that try to prevent and pressure, and because they just can't really figure out what like cannot figure out the uncertainty and the risk that entails and how that is actually beneficial, yet most of them see it as adversity and something to avoid at all cost. So yeah. So embracing unknowns and uncertainty, it is the bedrock to pursuing your own truth, your own path. And it doesn't matter if you achieve what you set out to do, whether you The definition of failure and success to me, people will see it as failure is a great, failure is a bad thing and success is a great thing. I have learned that success and failure are one and the same. They are just on a spectrum, left and right. I don't know, yin and yang, whatever, day and night. They're all on the same spectrum, and I believe that to be a very well-rounded and a well-rounded entrepreneur, you must experience the entire spectrum. So take risk. The risk is, I think, that the embracing uncertainty, embracing unknown is very, very important and very, very healthy for your creative entrepreneurial endeavors. And do not worry about whether or not it is a pass or fail, success or whatnot or otherwise, because that is not the point. There's never been that point. The point is to continue to pursue your truth, your path towards the self-fulfillment, reaching that self-actualized hierarchy. You know what I'm talking about? Self-actualization. It's through the trial and tribulations, my friends. That's what it's about. I think I went on a tangent again. My apologies. But I really just thought that I'll probably talk about more about risk and adversity. If there's any questions you have or anything you want me to talk about, let me know. Or any specific questions or scenarios that you would like me to talk about and explain, let me know in the comments. As always, subscribe and follow me up if you want to hear more of my personal journey. And yeah, embrace the uncertainties, embrace the unknowns. This is episode 8 of the Late Night Channel Eps. Signing off until tomorrow. Have a great night and have a great day.